If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home. Just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare. But when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now. Try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try to if I bleed tonight, if I am dead tonight, I don't have the time to find. And if I wait tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home. When I'm there's no way to go, no one that can see. If I bleed tonight.
All right, let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Turnbuckle Studios and the Boar's Nest bring to you its Monday Night Raw Preview Review Show. I am your host, OMD, and tonight I am joined by, I guess, the executive director of everything here at Turnbuckle Studios, the guy who makes it all happen, Mr. Chris Best. Thank you. How are
You're
you
welcome.
tonight, brother?
I am riding a wave of up and down emotions a little bit today, especially the news coming out of Hollywood today that just destroyed me. But we're going to rock on with the show tonight.
We are. Yes, it was very, very unfortunate. The legend who we lost, although he was not, I don't believe he was ever affiliated with the wrestling world, though he may have been.
Well, he's done a few like combat sport movies to a degree, so.
Right. That being the legendary James Earl Jones.
And legendary just doesn't even describe the amount of work that guy has done.
No, it doesn't. I guess his longevity, I guess the best way to describe it would be he is the Sting or the Undertaker of Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah. Because dude was working right up until, I believe I saw in his filmography, he still has a couple movies that were to come out.
Wow.
And, yeah, he worked right up until he died.
Wow.
But you know what? That's just showing dedication to your craft, which is what we are going to talk about with a lot of the boys that we're going to be talking about over the next hour.
Yes, we are. And let's actually kick it off. We're going to start off with the review from last week. And we're going to start off with American Made versus the Alpha Academy.
I was totally entertained by this match. I loved Maxine especially. She really entertained me during this match. That backwards worm that she does, awesome.
Yeah, she is really coming into her own and finding herself in this character.
Mm-hmm.
Getting away from the Maxine Dupree from the Maximum Male Models. You still get the hints of it with her calling Otis by that name as opposed to Otis.
Yeah.
Um, but
The
yeah,
only
she's
thing, my only gripe with her is she's turning into another Thea Hale. She kind of needs to get away from that a little bit. Thea Hale is doing great with that character.
right. I can honestly, I see exactly where you're coming from. And yeah, Maxine needs to really find herself instead of this cheerleader type, but we are starting to see her really come out of her shell.
Yeah.
She's still got a ways to go in the ring, but again, it's coming along. I mean, even when she got in there and did the Otis ripping the shirt.
I totally my brain went old school when I saw that, and I got Hulk Hogan vibes off of that.
Right, right. But yeah, this was a fantastic match and one hell of a way to kick off Raw last week.
Oh yeah.
I do hope that that was the blow off to that rivalry. I don't think we need to see American Made and Alpha Academy anymore.
No, I'm ready for Alpha Academy, more specifically Otis and Akira Tozawa. I'm ready for them to focus on the tag team titles at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, I'm sure we're going to get those two crossing paths again if it comes down to the tag belts, but you can save that for 3 months from now.
Right. Or you could do like a multi-team match where they cross paths in that. That's fine as well, you know?
Right. Now, after this match, Chad Gable cut a promo requesting a street fight with the Wyatt Six, which we are getting tonight on Raw. An 8-person street fight.
Big mistake, Chad. I mean, you gotta have balls of steel to be challenging those dudes, especially Nikki Cross. She's gonna be insane in this match.
Yes.
I feel bad for Ivy Nile already.
Yes, this will be Nikki Cross's return to the ring since joining the Wyatt Six, and we haven't seen her in quite a while.
Right.
Our first opportunity to see her in this new persona as Abby the Witch.
I'm calling it early, but I'm going to say we're going to get hints of Nikki Cross from oh my god, what was the stable she was in with Insanity. We're gonna get
yes.
shades. Yeah, we're gonna get shades of that Nikki Cross in this match tonight.
You think we're gonna see some of the Twisted Sister? I like it.
Yeah.
Now, again, as I said, I hope that last week's 6-person tag was the blow off of Alpha Academy and American Made. Again, I have to hope that this is the blow off for this and that the Wyatt Six can move on to something else.
See, I don't know if we do, but we'll have to wait and see, because with the Wyatt Six, you can't really question what they're going to be doing.
No.
It's people talk about and complain how predictable wrestling is, and I'm going to put that in quotations.
Right.
But the Wyatt Six make it unpredictable.
Right. I mean, we know how predictable wrestling is, and things can change like that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm just speaking from my own perspective. I would like to see the Wyatt Six move on to something a little bit bigger. As you alluded to, we could come back to it in a 4-way or more for the tag titles or a tag team title #1 contenders match.
Yeah, because I wouldn't mind, say, Gacy and Loomis maybe going after the tag titles together, or
Right.
Rowan and Loomis, or Rowan and Gacy.
Right. Now, we haven't been given official confirmation on the Wyatt Six members. There was a report coming out today that says it will be Rowan, Gacy, Loomis, and Nikki Cross with Uncle Howdy. So whether it's, I'm wondering, do we get those shenanigans from Uncle Howdy?
Oh, You would have to, but I have to think that with Chad Gable coming up and stepping up and challenging the White Six to a match tonight, so, Chad's got to have something up his sleeve as well.
Right. And I wonder if this is where we come to the person we've alluded to over the last number of weeks in Jake Hager.
I mean, this is the season premiere Raw tonight, so expect some surprises.
But I wonder if the Wyatt Six have another surprise too, namely 5 Feet of Fury and Alexa Bliss, if she's coming back and going that direction.
Mm-hmm. I kind of don't want her to go that direction anymore. I'm thinking I'd like her to do something else.
I think I'm with you. I am with you 100%. I want to see her go do her own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to get in that mindset that Chad Gable was in when he made that challenge, but I just can't.
Right. Now, do we see this match as being the main event of the evening, or do we see this sort of in the middle of the show? Or do we see spurts of it throughout the show?
I'm going to say main event, but spurts of it throughout the show. Like we see maybe like video packages from both teams building up to this feud or something like that, you know?
Okay. So next up, last week we had Shayna Baszler defeating Zelina Vega.
This was an obvious match for me. I mean, Zelina, I'm sorry, but you don't work as a babyface for me. She was much better off as a heel, especially when she was doing the stuff with Andrade, or the Queen Zelina stuff was good. But
Right.
I think she needs to go back to being a heel. And I like the fact that, yeah, she did get some stuff off on Shayna, but I kind of wanted Shayna to dominate her in this match.
Right. I get where you're coming from, but I followed Zelina Vega for a lot of years, even going back to her time in Impact. Her
Mhm.
work as a face, even there, was fantastic. And I mean, it's still a little bit weird to me seeing this, even though she's been doing it for a year and a half.
Mhm.
But it has grown on me, and I do enjoy it. But now she does seem to be breaking away from the LWO and doing her own thing.
And I'm fine with that. I'm actually I don't think we really needed her with the LWO after they moved from SmackDown and their feud with El Fantasma came to an end. We don't
Right.
really need her there.
Right. So would you like to see her go off, do her own thing, and would you like to see maybe the LWO bring up or call up somebody new, somebody like a Lola Vice who could?
I say keep Zelina around, but more as like an affiliate. So let's say because the LWO kind of have been having their troubles with the Judgment Day.
Again.
Yeah. We could easily spin Zelina off onto Liv Morgan in that case. But not
Right.
necessarily for a title because she's not there for me.
Right. No. I know that she's had her token championship matches. Again, if they were to introduce a mid-card women's title, I think she would be a perfect first champion for that.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Like, she's not at that level. I almost would be interested to see if she got involved. Excuse me, in the TNA crossover stuff.
See, you and I talked about this on the SmackDown Security Detail. We talked about the idea of main roster guys getting involved in this too, and that's actually something I wouldn't be too opposed for Zelina because it still gives her something to do.
Right.
Maybe it gives her some fresh feuds. Maybe it renews some old rivalries. You know.
Yep. But I mean, I don't want to bring it up. Like, don't really want to see Lola Vice come up and go right into a feud with the Pure Fusion Collective because she just wrapped up her feud with Shayna in NXT.
Yeah. No, as far as Lola goes, I don't think I'd want to bring her up either because when Roxanne Perez comes up, that's going to leave a huge hole to fill. And you need somebody there that could possibly do that. And Lola could very
Right.
well be one of those girls that could do it.
Absolutely, she could.
Mhm.
But this leads to a 6-woman tag match tonight because Lyra Valkyria did come out and make the save when Pure Fusion Collective were beating down Zelina. And it's a mystery partner, but we all know that it is the season premiere and it is from Calgary. Do we get the expected in Natty?
I'm going to say yes. And I feel like that maybe this is where Bret Hart makes his presence felt because he is scheduled to be on the show tonight.
Yes, he is, unfortunately.
Fortunately for me, but all right.
Yeah, I could see it. I could also see Bret being the guy to open Raw tonight, kick it off, just do the welcome to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Good to be home in Calgary. And I could actually see that 6-woman tag starting the show.
Yeah, that'd be all right. I could see Brett doing things with Adam Pearce in the locker room too. Like I don't know, Pearce has a decision to make, and then he goes to Brett about it or something. You know?
Right. Next up, the first of our Intercontinental Championship matches from last week, or number one contenders matches, Dragunov versus Dom versus Dragon Lee. Your thoughts?
Oh, what a match! What a match this was! Everything I wanted in this match happened, and I was just well. You saw that my face last week. I was just sitting there,
Absolutely.
I was glee. I was just full of glee watching this match.
You
I
were.
mean, I can't remember. Dom pulled off the win in that one, correct?
No. That was Ilya.
Right. We wanted Dom to win, but we were still happy that Dragunov took the win.
Yes.
And it just bolsters where I think we're going with the Intercontinental title because of the fact that it was Braun Breaker that took Dragunov out of action. We're getting Dragunov and Breaker for the Intercontinental title.
Okay. Then we had, and I mean, I love this match as well. I was a little bit disappointed that Dom was run off. I really wanted Dom to win. I want Dom as the Intercontinental Champion. I don't think he is ready for Gunther's spot, Cody's spot, Priest's spot, but he is there.
Right.
He is ready to take that next step. He's already been the workhorse. He's the new version of Seth Rollins, what Roman Reigns used to be. He is that new workhorse for the company.
Right. Yeah, Dom's become one of those guys that they're like, hey, we need somebody to do this. And Dom's like, puts his hand up, I'll do it. You know?
Yep. I watched an interview with him this week, and he asked who is the greatest villain of all time in WWE, and his answer was himself.
Oh, that's him playing the heel. Because
Exactly.
let's face it, right now he's between him and Gunther, they garner the most heat right now as far as the Raw roster goes.
Absolutely, they do.
But the way I see it, if you're going to get the title to Dom, you can't have him take it off Braun Breaker. So It has to be either my other pick for the match to go up against Braun is Jey Uso. Yeah. So you could have either Jey or Ilya win the Intercontinental title, and if Dom takes it off either one of them, heat magnet and a half because of how over Ilya Dragunov and Jey Uso are right now.
Yep. So I'm going to actually come back to the next match because I'm going to skip to the other Intercontinental title tournament match last week, which was Braun Strowman versus Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser.
So I was slightly disappointed in this, but I mean, I knew it was fairly obvious that Braun was gonna win once it was announced that he was taking
Right.
what would have been um oh my god, I'm drawing blanks on names tonight.
What would have
Uh,
been
what would have
Kaiser's
been
spot
no Bronson Reed's
or
spot.
Bronson Reed? Yes.
Um, it kind of disappointed me that Braun got announced to be a part of that match, given what happened the previous week. He should have taken that week off to sell the injury. Granted, he did sell it during the match. He walked to the ring holding his ribs, whatever.
Yeah.
Anytime Sheamus punched him in the ribs, he winced a little more than he normally would.
Yep.
Um, but at the same time, it's just, I mean, like, I love Braun. I love that he does the monster gimmick, but sometimes the monster has to be slain.
Yep. You know what? And I'm with you. Like, I think that him being announced for that match was a complete waste and completely ruined the week before.
I mean,
I had hoped, because I know he's in need of knee surgery again. I had hoped that that was a way of writing him off of TV to get him his knee surgery, get him healthy. I would have loved to see a Kaiser go through. I would have loved to see Sheamus go through so that Sheamus could get his shot at the one title he's never earned. I would love to see Kaiser go through just because of what Kaiser and Dragunov could have done in in a number one contenders match, which we are getting tonight. We are getting the fatal four-way number
yeah,
one contenders match: Jey Uso versus Dragunov versus Braun Strowman
and Pete
versus
Dunne.
Jey Uso and Pete Dunne. Yes.
Something just occurred to me in my brain when we were talking about the mystery, or how Braun Strowman was revealed as the mystery guy. Something tells me that that was set for somebody else. Now that I'm thinking about it, somebody who's no longer on the WWE roster, somebody who is unexpectedly fired from the WWE, and I think that was probably for Odyssey Jones.
Right. Right. And I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I can absolutely see it.
I
So
got Joe coming in here saying, "Good evening, gentlemen. How's it going, Joe? Glad to have you here, my man."
good to have you here, brother. Always a pleasure to have you in the Boar's Nest here on Turnbuckle Studios. Feel free to chime in with your comments, your thoughts. We love to hear from you. So tonight we do get that four-way: Jey Uso versus Pete Dunne versus Dragunov versus Braun.
It's already an early contender for my match of the night
Okay.
because all four men are bringing something completely different to the plate, and I love it. You've got the strong style, the British strong style wrestling of Pete Dunne. You've got the technical side of Ilya Dragunov, the power of Braun Strowman, and the aerial tactics of Jey Uso all coming into play in this match.
Right.
And it's going to be fantastic.
It is. And, you know, I asked you earlier if we saw the street fight being the main event, and I really don't see that. I think this is your main event of the night. I wonder, and this is where I think we could see Bret Hart. He is one of the greatest intercontinental champions of all time. Do we see him put on the referee's shirt?
That might be intriguing to see that. That might be intriguing to see that in a fatal four way. Brett shouldn't be taking any bumps. Brett can't take any bumps, but
Right.
so if that were the case, obviously there would not be a ref bump or anything like that, you know.
Right.
But you pose an intriguing scenario there, because when I think of Brett, I do think of all the championships that he's won, but I think of the 5 WWF titles he's won before that.
Right.
Before I think of the other championships, you know.
Right. See, and I'm like you said, yes. It's for me. It's the WWF championships, and then it's the tag team titles.
Hmm.
The Intercontinental titles just sort of
It
drift
was,
off into obscurity with him for me.
yeah, because well, he had fantastic matches while he had the title. Huh.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but we got Joe coming in saying, knowing Brett, he'll want to do something physical. Given that they're in Calgary, I get a feeling Brett throws a sharpshooter on somebody.
I'm thinking we go
Maybe.
to the joint manipulator, Pete Dunne.
Well, who's the biggest heat magnet right now? Dom. If Dom took that sharpshooter, the crowd would go insane for
Yeah.
Brett.
Yeah.
But the question is, how would you get to that? That's the question that would be answered on tonight's show, anyways.
Yeah. Um, so now to jump back, there was a match that came up before that, and it was the unholy union of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn defeating Damage Control in the women's number one contenders tag match.
Okay, so fantastic match this was. The ending didn't make any sense to me.
Right.
And it didn't make any sense to me given that the Unholy Union just dropped the women's tag titles and now they have to fight for it again.
Right.
Didn't make a hell of a lot of sense to me.
No, it didn't. At the same time, like the automatic rematch is sort of antiquated. So what I think, because we noticed it with Jade and Bianca losing at Clash at the Castle, they had to wait until, was it SummerSlam? No, Bash in Berlin to get their rematch.
Yeah, and they fought and clawed their way back to the tag titles at least.
Right.
But
And Alba Fire and Isla Dawn were out, to their credit, defending the belt across all three brands.
mhm. And Bianca and Jade did get that rematch, but it was the night before SummerSlam, and that's when that I think it was a count out or a double disqualification or something happened in that match.
Right. Um, you're right. I loved this match. I am glad that the Unholy Union got got the rematch, because for me, and I've stressed this, I think it's time for Damage Control to go back up to the back of the line and find something new for them.
Right.
This whole battle, even the Pure Fusion Collective, and I don't want to see those two teams battling. We're assuming we're getting Natty back tonight. I wonder if that means we're going to get Tegan Knox coming back.
She's been ready for a few months now. So she's been posting on Twitter about how she wants to get back in the ring.
So we need to get this ball rolling. As we discussed pre-show, Kiana James has just been moved to the miscellaneous roster, which you
there's
could bring her.
there's speculations that she's hurt at the moment. We don't know anything quite yet on why that happened.
Right. But you could have paired her with Tegan Knox. You could have had them work each other on the main roster and at house shows. There's so much you could have done. I mean, again, we're getting Lyra Valkyria, who, again, would be a strong contender for a women's mid-card title.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's there and she could challenge Liv. I don't think she would win yet. And I don't want them to put that rocket ship on her. But it's good to get Lyra back on TV in a match. I realize it is a 6-person tag, which is what she has. I don't want to use the wrong term here, which is where things have taken a directional change for her, as opposed to when she seemingly did have the rocket ship strapped to her, leading to Money in the Bank.
But at the same time, you had stated in the past that you don't want that rocket ship attached to Lyra. So this is kind of cooling her off before we shoot her back to the moon.
Yeah.
Because right now, as it stands for at the top feud in the women's division, going to end the year out is going to be Liv and Rhea.
Yes, absolutely, it will be.
Mm-hmm.
And then our tag team main event last week, Damian Priest and Jey Uso defeat Finn Balor and JD McDonough in a tag match. Now, this was an interesting match for me. I loved it. The pairing of Jey Uso and Damian Priest is
It was a
a little
weird
bit
pairing,
different.
but I liked it.
Yeah, it was different for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, again, we are used to seeing
We're used to seeing them on opposite sides of the ring.
exactly, and we're used to seeing Priest with the Judgment Day. We do know that they have worked each other house shows and the international tours. And it was through those matches that we started to see the inklings of the face turn for Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Do we potentially, and I don't want to do this one, if Jay does not win the number one contenders match, we know that he and Sammy had stated that they were going to go after Finn and JD at some point. Do we see that? Jey Uso and Damian go after the tag titles.
I might be okay with that, but at the same time, I still feel like Roman may need some friends.
So does Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we see the start of this new oddball faction between Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Jey Uso, and potentially a Sami Zayn?
See, I don't know. I don't really like that. That's too strange for my liking. I could see like an alliance being formed between them, but not necessarily a team.
Okay.
Like if Damien's having some trouble with Finn and JD, then maybe Jay comes out to give a help. I don't know.
Right. So now we've already touched on the street fight for tonight. We've touched on the number one contender match for the Intercontinental title.
Right.
We are getting the women's tag team championships defended here as well tonight.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited because once again, the women's tag titles being featured on what is going to be a major episode of Raw.
Yes, absolutely. I am excited for this match. I'm really hoping it's not going to be a squash for Bianca and Jade.
No, I kind of need some competition. I want a good 20 minutes out of the four women.
Right. I'd love to see that. I don't think we're going to get that. I think we'll probably get 12 to 15 entrances included.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, we've touched on it. We expect to see some shenanigans in the street fight. Do we get any shenanigans in this match?
It all depends on who really wants that shot at Bianca and Jade, because there is a team that we haven't mentioned yet, and that's Casey Squared.
Right.
If they do, they turn heel though in this situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you calling for a Casey Squared heel turn?
I don't think no, but if they do come in and say, "Hey, we want a shot," it'll probably be just come out and challenge them to a title match.
Okay, so you're thinking post match. Okay, I can see that. I do think we are going to see shenanigans. I think you're going to see it really devolve, and I think you might end up seeing a tag team turmoil or a tag team gauntlet at Bad Blood for the women's tag titles.
Yeah, yeah, because I could see Sonya Deville, Jade Cart, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark make their way out. Because let's face it, they're trying to be the dominant female faction on
Yep.
Raw right now. So
Yep. I could see, again, Damage Control, though, again, I think both Pure Fusion Collective and Damage Control need to go to the back of the line. Now, this
mhm.
is season premiere week, and it is WWE week in USA, so that's where I will actually watch my feed tonight on.
Right.
Do we see SmackDown superstars appearing tonight for the season premiere? Or do we keep the shows separate?
I would still keep them separate, but we do need to see what the opposite end of that deal was for Randy Orton to come over to Raw to challenge Gunther. So
Okay. So,
we need something big on the SmackDown side of things,
right.
and I don't know if we're going to get that with the cage match coming up on Friday. So
Right. I want to touch on another segment from last week, and this was the CM Punk segment. I liked this segment. He kept it short. He kept it sweet. He kept it simple.
mhm.
Yes, we got the beatdown from Drew McIntyre.
OMD's dying on us here, guys.
I am. We got the beatdown from Drew, who then ripped the bracelet in half and shoved the beads in his mouth, beating the absolute snot out of Punk. We are getting a Drew McIntyre segment tonight. What do we expect from that?
I expect Punk to try and get some sort of revenge on Drew in this one. And maybe this is where we get because we've seen both Wade Barrett and Adam Pearce come out and separate things. I think this is where we get Adam Pearce finally announcing that they're going to have a match at Bad Blood. Now, what the type of match is, I'm not going to speculate on that, but the rumors out there speak for themselves.
Right. And again, I wonder if that's going to be a place where we hear from Bret Hart. Could Bret Hart be the guest GM tonight?
Well, to be fair, I haven't seen anything posted from Adam Pearce yet today for anything that is official. So,
Myself either.
yeah, I don't think I'd be too opposed with Bret being the guest GM for the night.
Okay.
He's been GM before. He knows how to do it.
He does. He was the GM when the Usos debuted and attacked the Hart Dynasty.
Yep. He was also the U.S. champion at that time, too.
Yes, he was. Why, I don't know.
They had to take it off. Somebody had to take it off The Miz.
Nobody needed to take it off The Miz. The Miz could still be in the midst of the longest U.S. championship title reign in history. And that would be awesome.
Not at that time. The Miz wasn't. The Miz wasn't lighting up anybody at that time. So
The Miz has always been awesome. Yes, I am a misfit. I will say it. I am a misfit. So what else do we anticipate or expect seeing? Because we haven't. Bronson Reed was out last week due to COVID. Do we see him return in any capacity?
if he does, I'm gonna say it's in that Fatal 4-Way, and I'm gonna say that he comes in, he takes out Braun Strowman, or maybe he takes out Braun before the match, and
Okay.
maybe finds his way in that Fatal 4-Way himself.
Yeah, I can absolutely see it. I would love to see it. What do we see from the Judgment Day tonight?
See, that's where I'm really wondering because they lost last week, right? In that tag team match. Um,
Dom got ran off in the number one contenders tournament match.
the only one that had sort of a strong outing is well, not even Liv. Liv got her butt kicked too last week.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of a regrouping kind of phase tonight for the Judgment Day. But how they react to everything, that's going to be the big question going into the show. How are they going to react towards everything?
Right. And I know I've said it, like we had what I hope was the blow off from last week between American Made and Alpha Academy. I'm hoping that tonight is the blow off of American Made and the Wyatt Six. Could we see the Judgment Day come in there and try and target the Wyatts to put up a battle of the supernatural, so to speak, or a battle of the dark side?
See, I don't know if you want to do that, considering they've still got to deal with Damien and Ray, or Rhea.
Right.
I mean, Damien and Ray, because they're going to be lurking in the shadows regardless of what Judgment Day tries to do.
Right.
And you know that Damien wants to get his hands on Finn, and I get a feeling that match gets announced tonight too.
Okay. See, I could see Judgment Day going after it and Damien just chuckling to himself saying, "You guys have at her, we'll come back. I'll come back to you when it's scraps to pick."
Right. But all in all, I do think tonight's going to be a fantastic show.
Yes. Yes, it's season premiere week. I'm thankful that we're not going to a 4-hour show.
I'm also thankful that SmackDown is not going to be a 3-hour show, like the rumors around the internet have been flying around.
Right. Yeah, that would make Friday a very, very long night for us.
Yeah. But what else is there left to cover for this week's show?
That's what I'm trying to think of, my friend.
I think we covered it all.
I think we have. And then some. And I mean, we flew through this and we're only 3/4 of an hour into what should be a 1-hour show. Yeah. But I do know that you and I do have to get ready because we have the Raw Patrol coming up in about 18 minutes.
Yep. It's going to be a fantastic show. Totally looking forward to it.
It is. You can join Chris Best, myself, Carl Carafel, and Run-In Parish. I do want to give a shout out to Bubba Duke, who is under the weather tonight, which is why he's not here. I'm not sure if he's going to pop in on the Raw Patrol.
If he's not doing well, I don't think he does.
No. Bulkster is out having a sodium-free chicken parm tonight, so we'll let him have his night off. With that being said, Mr. Best, would you like to tell the people where they can see us? Or show people where they can see us every week?
Yeah, I'll flash up that commercial right now.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, For those who have joined us, if you're watching, you're going to get our socials after the Raw Patrol tonight at 11 p.m. For those listening in audio form, again, you will get them after the Raw Patrol at 11 p.m. Mm-hmm. So for Chris Best, for Bubba Duke, who's recovering in bed, for the Bulkster enjoying his low-sodium chicken parm, from all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Boar's Nest, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck, we're out.